and Sid Rosenberg on 640 Sports.
Because you look so fine, and I really want to make you mine.
A little Jet for you. I like this song. A very busy show. Stu Feiner was here earlier. He loves the Dolphins to win outright tonight. Tamara Holden was here, Fox News. Chuck Todd, moderator of Meet the Press, was here. And Charlie Cassidy, NFL Network, just hung up. So we did a deal with the Panthers because I work for those guys. I love those guys. Love them. All of them. Vinny, Doug, all the announcers, Goldie, Lindsay, Moeller, Doug. Who am I missing here? Pot Van. And I love the players, too. The Panthers come off a 4-1 win over Colorado, but Colorado sucks. So I can't get excited about that one. They should have won that one. And now they're at a record of 5-3-1 in the early going. And they've got 2 home games coming up this weekend, which, by the way, both coincide with Met games, which is not making Steve Goldstein happy. I mean, I guess his paycheck does, but they have the Bruins in town on Friday and Ovechkin's here with the Capitals on Saturday. But the Mets are on, so.
Goldie said Panthers first.
Well, of course, they pay his bills. I mean, well, Sifu signs his checks, not Sandy Alderson. But I would imagine that like Sean Thornton and Mitchell, all these great Panther veterans, Soupy Campbell, are staring up at the screen watching the Mets. They may lose to Boston on Friday. I mean, watch Dan Murphy at bat. Next thing you know, the Bruins scored 2 goals. They don't put the game on inside that arena, do they, the Met game?
No.
Hockey players like baseball?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Nah, that doesn't seem
Hockey
like
players play fantasy football. Jeb Bush. Jeb Bush is 7-0 in fantasy football. But then again, Chris Christie, the great governor.
Fantasy football, who cares?
Right.
Fantasy football, who cares?
The great governor of New Jersey doesn't care about fantasy football.
Who cares?
You think Sean Thornton plays fantasy football?
Yeah, I think he does.
I think he does, too. Let's find out right now. The great veteran of the Florida Panthers, the very handsome and rugged Sean Thornton. Sean, do you play fantasy football?
I do not.
What? Chris Christie loves you.
I don't have the time. I mean, I enjoy watching it, but the boys got a little league going, I think, amongst themselves.
Yeah.
But I'm not in.
Be careful because it may be some like illegal something, $50,000 apiece, and probably run by Willie Mitchell, of course. Chris Christie, New Jersey, had this to say about fantasy football. One more time there for Sean.
Fantasy football, who cares?
But are you a football fan? Are you a big Patriots fan?
Yeah, I'm a Pats fan. Big game tonight. I'm excited.
Well, but you're a Pats fan. I spent a lot of time in Boston, but now you're a Florida legend. We love you here, so that's Dolphins. So who do you root for tonight?
I'm going with the Pats, only because I'm buddies with a couple of those guys. I came from Toronto, so I mean, I don't really have an NFL team, but after getting to know a few of the guys on the Pats, I've been a fan for the last 8 years.
Toronto, you must have done a couple Jägermeister shots with Doug Flutie. He was the quarterback up there for a while.
I know Flutie a little bit. The people that run my social actually do his foundation stuff too. So
cool.
I ran into him a few times.
Yeah, his kid has autism or something, right, Doug? Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Are you friends with Brady? Tom Brady?
No, I've never met the man.
So who are your friends? Who are the guys? Rob Gronkowski? Somebody cool at least?
Yeah, no, I know Gronk a little. I talked to Edelman and Gostowski every once in a while. We golf in the off season together.
Now, a guy like you, a brawler, you like the action, you like the energy. You play hockey, which is the fastest moving sport in the world. You can't like baseball, or do you?
Depends. I mean, I enjoy going to Fenway on a Sunday afternoon and sitting down and having a few beers watching the game.
But that's more about the beers necessarily than the ballpark, right?
Yeah, you know what? No, I like baseball. I don't mind baseball. I grew up, in Toronto when they were winning. This year was exciting for the Jays, and I've been around Boston, for 2 of the 3 wins. So I'm not going to lie to you and say that I'm tuning in for Game 86.
Right.
But,
right.
The playoffs, or if it's Yankees, Rocks, or if the Jays are in town, I'm usually watching.
You'll watch that. So that's right. As a youngster growing up, those were the Cito Gaston years when the Blue Jays won 2 World Series.
that was high school for me. Those are big days. Those are big days.
I remember the big story that came out of the Sky Dome in Toronto, the great Sean Thornton, Florida Panthers, was not the fact that they got David Cole and they're winning World Series, but I believe it's the first stadium in the United States where they had they actually viewed a couple having sex inside the basement.
In the hotel, yeah.
Right?
I think you're right. Yes, you are correct. Yeah, they have that. I don't know what it is now. It changes names all the time. I think it was like a Radisson or a Hyatt back then. Yeah.
Well, just so you know, opening night when you guys blew out the Flyers, in my section, 116, there were two couples having sex. Just so you know that, Sean. So.
But the camera wasn't on them, I guess.
Right. No, you guys were scoring too many damn goals. We couldn't take the action off the ice. Listen, good win the other night, but maybe a good win. I need to know what is going on with Yager. He skates off the ice in the first period. I've been told it's a groin injury, nothing serious. Do you know anything more about Yarmer?
No, you got way more information than I thought you'd have. That's honestly, that's basically it. Yesterday was a day off for most guys anyway, so he wouldn't have skated. It was a maintenance day. Today we're practicing. I'm sure it'll be on the tweeter in about an hour and a half, whether he's out there or not. I don't know. I haven't walked into the rink yet, but I think it's just day to day. I think it's just if he's good to go, he's good to go.
Is it one of those things, Sean? Again, you're a veteran too, as Yarmer is. In fact, he's even older than you, which is a miracle.
Right.
When a guy like that is not on the ice, forgetting about whether he scores 2 goals or not, how much does that change just the persona of the hockey team?
Yeah, I mean, guys did a great job of stepping up and filling in, but I mean, you can't. The guy's got 4,000 points and 700 and something goals, 800 and something goals. I mean, teams have to be aware every time he's out there. So not having him and Barkov obviously changes the dynamic a bit. But like I said, last game I think we were down a guy, but guys that split up the slot, stepped in and did a really good job.
Oh, yeah, and I was talking to Goldie, in fact, a couple of days ago, before the Colorado game that morning. We were talking about Barkov's injuries. He's like, listen, the kid's great. He's having a great year, but I don't want to hear about injuries. I mean, every team has them. Every hockey team, baseball team, football team, and you got a plethora of good young talent with the Panthers. Somebody else has to step up. But then when you lose Yager the same day, now when it starts to pile up injuries, that becomes a different story, no?
Yeah, I mean, I had the same conversation with Goldie probably right around the same time you did. Every team goes through it. There's nothing. It's part of our sport. We play a hard game. People are going to get hurt. You try and limit them, but there's nothing you can do about it. So, don't make excuses. You can't be looking around saying, "Oh God, this guy's out." You just say, "Oh well, maybe it's my chance to step up and show them what I can do if they're not in." Not me. I mean, I'm on the fourth line no matter what. But
right.
maybe somebody else is going to slide up and show them that they're a little bit more than what they've expected. So that's what I'm expecting from the team.
Yeah, Joe had a good game last game. He scored twice. You beat Colorado 4-1. So the Bruins come to town on Friday. You won a Stanley Cup with the Boston Bruins. I know you were banged up, obviously, during the Stanley Cup Finals, but you were there many, many years. Had great success there. Is it still still kind of odd to be looking across the ice at guys wearing that B on their sweater?
I mean, I think they only have like 7 guys left from that year that we won, maybe even less. So not really. I mean, I played with Bergeron, Chara for the whole 7-8 years there. I'm really good friends with Tuukka still. But other than that, I mean, I don't, not really. I'm fine with it now. Last year was a little bit different, playing them for the first time, being up there with the Panthers. That was a little weird. But once those doors close, you get over it pretty quick.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. So, but these next 2 games, I got to tell you, it's going to sound weird, but if you split the next 2 games and you start the season, Sean, at 6-4-1, that's fine. If you, in fact, beat Boston Friday and Washington Saturday and start the season 7-3-1, that's great. But if, God forbid, you don't win these next 2, and you're still around a 500 hockey club going into next week, that is not the start you wanted, only because of the expectations and the excitement out of the gate in that first game. So I don't want to get carried away of the game 10 of an 82-game regular season, but I think in terms of early momentum and keeping this fickle fan base excited, I think Friday and Saturday are pretty important for you guys.
Agreed. I mean, we went through this last year. I think we were 4-4-2 or something like that. First. And it came back to get us at the end. So I'm with you on you can't be hitting the panic button in game 10, but games 8, 9, 10, 11, they count. They mean just as much as games 78 through 82. So we're aware of it. We learned from last year, and you know what? We pissed away a couple points already this year.
Yeah.
That we're not happy about. So we do have a good team. We have a really good team. We're excited, just like everyone else is. But yeah, we gotta put the product out on the ice.
So you feel like every single day, you guys, again, before the Colorado game, 4-3-1, you did not play well. Not you specifically, Sean, but the team. But nothing changed. I mean, the team was still practicing hard, very upbeat, even after losing Barkov. You don't feel like anything changed before the Colorado win?
No, I mean, we talked about it before the Dallas game that we thought as a whole we could probably give a little bit more effort. And
no. Tell me this. You say you talked about it because you know what? I know everything about your team. I am Panther connected. I know it wasn't a big deal or a big meeting, but there was correct me if I'm wrong here, a players only, not a lot of screaming and yelling, but that did take place, yes?
Yeah, just I mean, we have them all the time, but it's just, you know, we can give a little bit more. Like, we're right there. We're just around 500. We're thinking if we're giving 95%, maybe if we give 100, then we'll become the better team that we think we are. So that was it. It was nothing.
Nothing big.
Again,
Okay.
no panic,
Right.
no panic button, no nothing. But be self-aware. You got to look yourself in the mirror, and if you're not giving 100, start giving 100.
So you didn't punch anybody across the face inside that meeting or anything like that, or?
No, I didn't say much in the meeting because I hadn't been in the lineup, so I was more of a spectator at that point, and you know, some of the guys that were playing hard kind of stepped up.
See, you know what kind of sucks for you guys right now, and I mean this, Sean, because I'm always looking for the Panthers to get as much publicity locally as possible. But now this Dan Campbell takes over for the Dolphins, and they're like the best team in football the last 2 weeks. We'll see what happens tonight, of course. And then and the Heat started last night, and they have a really good team, and they won last night. And now the Marlins hired Don Mattingly as their freaking manager today. So we got to keep winning hockey games to stay big news down here in South Florida.
I'm with you. I think like that's anywhere or anything in South Florida. You got to keep winning to be news. There's a lot of stuff to do down here, and you want to get people excited. You better win games.
You're right. There's a lot. Did you go to the Taylor Swift concert a couple nights ago?
No, but I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, but I am a Vance Joy fan. So I would have. I didn't even know they were here though.
Pitbull was there, and Ricky Martin, and Dwayne Wade, and all those guys were there. It was a big deal.
Yeah, Pitbull didn't give me a ring. I wasn't aware he was going.
Well, listen, good luck against the Bruins on Friday and the Caps on Saturday. I told Sipu, I tweeted him, I said, I love the fact I've got Thornton every single week. We're really excited about this, Sean, and we'll see you down at the arena this weekend. Stay healthy, play well, and thanks for coming on. Every week you're great.
Thanks, bud.
Good to talk to you. All right, pal. That's Sean Thornton of the Florida Panthers, fresh off a big win over Colorado. He's a great guest. He's funny. He's interesting. He's been around a long time. He's got a lot of hobbies. He likes a lot of different things outside of hockey. Panthers have the Bruins on Friday, the Capitals on Saturday, and they look to keep winning after the big win over Colorado just a couple nights ago. We'll take a short break. Mark Caputo from Politico and more back after this. All right, today is, in fact, the big listener lunch at, your favorite restaurant.
Oh, yeah, Shane's Rib Shack.
And you love it so much you're not even coming.
Well, there was changes in plans, and
always comes back to me.
No, I didn't say that. I just said, and these plans were made long in advance, and it just happens.
What time are you leaving today for New Orleans?
As soon as the show is over.
Okay, so you can't mess with that. Why wouldn't Alicia want to stop off for a nice lunch and some great ribs on the way to New Orleans?
She loves that place, believe
me.
But
what's the but here?
We just have a time schedule to keep.
No,
and,
you don't.
And yes, we do.
It's ridiculous.
You're so ridiculous.
You are. So if you get to New Orleans an hour later or an hour and a half later, and you're going for 5 or 6 weeks, who knows how long you're going for, what is the difference? Are you meeting at some po' boy place tonight or something?
Everything is very time-orientated.
You're so annoying with that. God. I try to meet. You're so annoying. You are.
I'm not annoying.
It's like I can't come to the gym today because I have exactly 63 minutes. I got to grill. I got to get my dog's ass wiped. I got to take the car in for time. I got 63 minutes.
I have appointments and things to keep.
I've never seen somebody who really has nothing going on.
You would think so, yes.
Well, why?
I don't even know what I have going on, but it keeps me busy.
You have nothing going on.
I do.
Nothing.
I obviously have a lot going on.
It's like the movie History of the World. I've got nothing for sale, not even the piss board. So you can't come to Shane's Rib Shack today.
I can't. And you know I'd love to.
Well, you know what?
I was so
I'm
ready
going
last
to
week.
invite somebody in your stead.
Okay.
Which means in your place. Did you know that, Ricky?
In my stead?
Yeah. Did you know
I thought I was going in his stead.
Are you going?
I am going.
Okay, good.
Free Shane's Rib Shack?
Brian, you want it? Brian, if Brian comes out to shut the goddamn place down.
He'd love it.
You got to be good for a couple of racks of ribs. No, all kidding aside. Yeah, you are no stranger to the dinner table. Hiya, Brian. Look at you. My man. My man can eat. I like that. That's good in a guy.
Sure.
Guys should be like that. I hate guys who eat like a little bit.
Sign of success in
That's
the old
exactly.
days.
It is?
Yeah, if you were fat, you were well fed. The peasants were starving and skinny.
And the fat guys were the guys they loved.
The fat guys were they had the money. They were eating
And the
good,
power.
living good, right?
They got all the Vajicci, all of it.
Something,
Fat,
yeah.
Back then, now was skinny.
Right.
Everybody has to be skinny. But in the good old days, in the Greek-Roman days, the fatter you were, the more ass you got.
I like that.
Literally.
Yes.
The more ass you got.
Well, the more ass you have.
And what about this kid, our intern, what's his name again, Frankie?
Garrett.
That's right. Is he coming?
I'm sure he'll try to weasel his way in.
Are you coming to you are coming. Look at this kid. I swear, I love this kid. I don't know what it is.
He's lovable like a.
He looks gay.
Like a
you know?
handicapped
He looks
person,
like he's
right?
gay, though. Seriously.
He says
I know he's not. He's got a girlfriend, but he's got this smile, and he wears his shirts very tight, but his belly's like
it's too tight for
right.
his physique.
Right. Yeah. Oh God. You got to see what he's doing.
I don't
right
even
now.
want to turn around.
I like this kid. So he's
got
coming.
no shame.
Well, here's the deal. If you want to come to Shane's Rib Shack today, we are having a listener lunch. There's going to be thousands of people. I think it's 8 people right now. 8.
8? No, I'm sure more than that.
8,000?
I don't think so. I think it's like 8.
Yeah, 8,000.
I
sounds
purposely, and I know it's not going to make Jerry and Pamela happy, the owners of the restaurant, but I purposely downscaled the thing because I frankly don't like to hang out with people. I mean, I know it's my job, and when I do have to do it, I'm very good at it. But
for Pamela and Jerry.
Right. So anyway, if you call in the next 5 minutes at 844-640-6464, and I don't care if you come or not, but they want you there. 844-640-6464. If you want a great lunch. What time does this thing take place there? What time?
It's like noon, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
But isn't this your event?
Yes,
I believe it's noon.
Noon. But get there a little early.
It's not my event.
I would assume.
You know, what's funny about the event is that Tony's he's one of the few good salespeople we've got, only because he has at least have an account with the guy. And he put this thing together, and he's very excited about it, very enthusiastic. And he sends out all the emails, of course, and he sends my emails to Sid at Digity, whatever it is, whatever. And what's the issue with that?
I'm going to guess that you have never logged in.
That's correct. And no, not only not logged in, I don't even have I have an account for me, but I've never looked. Well, I've never looked at it once.
You never
exactly
logged in.
right,
Yeah.
right.
You don't even know the password or anything.
I don't
do you?
want to know.
No. Okay.
So when sales guys send emails, when people send emails, I'm not familiar with them. So when I come in the morning, many times a week, and Z-Mac is already in a horrible mood, I'm not, because I don't get those emails.
You should give him your fax number.
I don't even have a fax.
That's the
Oh, no,
point.
Daniel's got a fax. Yeah. No, I don't want to be. I don't want to be bothered. I don't even want to know. So I just stay out of it. And then I'm told, like today, I was reminded. I even forgot, to be honest, that I'm going for lunch, and it's a great place. I'm excited. Is your wife coming?
No, she's working.
Yeah. What about your girlfriend?
She's also working.
Uh huh.
Same person. They're the same person.
Now, people have to pay for this. I don't want people. Hey, Z-Mac, get in here, because.
Other people have to pay.
Well, I think they do, actually.
Yeah, no, they do.
Yeah, you don't want the wrong impression. Listener lunch doesn't mean we're buying you lunch. So.
You just get to listen to us.
You get to hang out with us.
You're getting the finger shake from
I know. Look at this. I'm getting yelled
don't
at.
mistake it.
Right.
We're
Well, I understand. But if you're a listener and a fan of the show, when you want to lunch with us today, don't go there under the impression that you're getting a free lunch. Because as I learned day one in economics, there is no free lunch. Except if you're me. I'm getting a free today, just so you know. But on a serious note, they have to pay, right?
Yes.
So what are the advantages of coming to this end? I'm just curious.
You get to eat great barbecue and hang out with Sid.
They're not going to hang out with me, though. I'm going to actually put them with you.
Well, I guess they'll have great barbecue and hang out with me.
Will you yell about Israel and Roger Waters and
Maybe.
and all
Someone
that?
gets me fired up.
Give me that phone and all that good stuff during the lunch.
The fans may demand it. You may have to stand up and give that speech.
Do
once
like a
again.
Steve Z-Mac rant.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the restaurant. Just start yelling.
I'll start drinking some coffee
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
The great oral surgeon, Ron Katz, checking in, says, an unbelievably effing, he did curse, great show today. Was today great, yeah?
now. Yeah, I mean, it's always great, so I guess.
Here's Dale. Dale, what's going on, pal?
Yeah, I mean, your show is always, like Stevie said, great. I mean, from day to day, it's hard to pick. I mean,
Thank you.
It's hard to believe that in a market like South Florida, your show, you could have such a dynamic show. But when you listen to all these other it's just terrible radio. Joe Rose, oh my God, that guy's just friggin'. It's the same show every single day with him. I don't understand how anybody can listen to him. That's not why I called. The debate last night, Sid.
Yeah.
I'm almost off the Trump bandwagon. You know what I mean? This guy cannot look at the camera and just flat out lie to people about the whole bankruptcy thing, just everything. It's just like, Rubio was the clear-cut winner, and I thought last night what Chuck Todd said on your show this morning, but it sounds a lot smarter coming from a guy like Chuck Todd, even though him and Rachel Maddow seem to be butt buddies. Okay, Rubio is going to give Hillary Clinton a run for her money, and I thought that last night, and hearing him say that, I feel a lot smarter.
All right, there it is, Dale. Very good phone call, and he's joining me, getting off the Donald Trump. I'm off it. I'm so off it. I'm so off it. God, am I off it? And now I get annoyed. You know how I get. I go from I love you. Now if I see your face, I'm like, change the channel. That's how I am.
What if he comes on the show next week?
Then I'll love him. I'll vote for him. I'll support him. I'll endorse him. I'll do whatever he wants. I'll rub his balls. I don't care.
Oh, wait a minute.
What? It's Donald Trump, bro. Mario Salerno's upset that we're having this lunch. He lives in New Jersey. He'll be here next month. He wants us to have another lunch.
Yeah, he can take us out to lunch, no problem.
We'll go to his brother's place, Tijuana Flats.
Even better, and his brother will take care of it. His brother sent me a text about 2 days ago congratulating us on the.
He's a good guy.
On the Mets.
I've been there once or twice. I've renamed that place Tijuana, instead of Tijuana Flats, Tijuana Farts, because there's not one time I've ever gone to that place and didn't have the trots 2 seconds later.
It's good Mexican.
Oh, my God, that hot sauce right out my ass like a rocket ship.
That's the symbol of good
I understand
Mexican cuisine.
I understand that. In the old days, we got to talk to Mark Caputo. If you didn't burp, if you ate dinner and you didn't belch, you were in some places you were killed.
Killed?
Yes, they killed you.
I know it was considered rude.
It is considered.
Punishable by death?
In very crazy cases, they would kill the person.
Wow.
Because when you belched, it meant you enjoyed your meal.
Right. It was healthy, good meal.
Right. So imagine if you farted, you had to be like knighted.
Oh, my God. Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, that's got to be the ultimate compliment.
Right. I mean, if you're considered great for belching, then farting is the next level. And then what? What if you diarrhea in your pants or something? You'd be like the king.
If you throw up, I think that's really
that's
good.
big. That's big.
And how long ago are we talking about?
I don't know, 2 years ago?
Oh, okay. Well,
it's relatively new.
Yeah, that is.
No, it was a long time ago. It was like ancient Greece or ancient Rome. Where was that exactly? Where you were seriously? You were credited with burping, and you were in big trouble if you didn't belch.
Britain? I don't know. Somewhere.
I thought it was before. Wasn't it the Greeks or the Romans?
It could be.
Yeah, but back then they used to think obese women were beautiful.
They did. Fat was in back then. Yeah. Socrates got a ton of vagina, a ton of it. And Plato and all those fat guys.
Softic or what was the look? I don't know.
Zoftic.
Yeah. Softic.
Not soft dick.
No, I didn't say that.
That's you before I gave you those 40 Cialis yesterday.
No, shut up. You're so ridiculous.
It's Sid Rosenberg, online, on your mobile device, on your radio, right now. 640 Sports.
You're going out with someone new. I'm going out with someone too. I won't feel sorry for me. I'm getting drunk, but I'd much rather be somewhere with you, laughing loud.
One of the highlights of last night's debate was the back and forth between two of our guys here from the state of Florida. Two guys that Caputo's covered very closely. Jeb Bush, former governor, and Senator Marco Rubio. So what a great day to have Caputo on. I thought we're having Caputo on every week. What happened with that? He does the Florida playbook in Politico. It's great. I read it every single week, and I urge and compel all of my listeners who are political junkies like me, along with the sports, to go read his stuff. He's really good. But what happened to that?
I don't know. I'll talk to him after the show. We'll set something up.
All right. Well, here he is right now. Again, Florida playbook, Politico. The very talented Mark Caputo. Good morning, Mark. How are you, pal?
Great. How are you?
I'm well. Hey, before we get to Jeb and Rubio and all that good stuff that you write about all the time, let's go to another one of your passions, and that is the Miami Hurricanes. They fired Al Golden this week. What do you think?
Oh, I thought that Clemson loss was the worst loss ever because it was the chemotherapy that made us sick but got rid of the cancer of Al Golden.
You really thought it's funny you say he was that bad. Paul Feinbaum actually said this week, and I had the same exact discussion, just so you know what, Mark, with Chuck Todd, who's on my show each and every week an hour ago because he's a big Hurricane guy too. Chuck was like, I'm not happy they fired him, but they had to do it. Paul Feinbaum said, listen, the guy's a decent coach. The truth is that Miami's an awful program. The stadium sucks. There's no fan base. They haven't won in years. And the truth is no coach can help that program right now. That was Feinbaum's contention. What do you think about that?
Well, I disagree with him, and if he wants to stay in his inbred redneck Alabama mobile home, he's more than welcome to. But, that's probably a good transition to Jeb Bush is, we're hearing a lot of people say he's not going to be able to turn around. And they've been saying that for weeks. Actually, some people have been saying that for months with me about Jeb Bush. But now, after last night, the amount of media pressure, buzz, conservative chatter, is going to become really difficult for Jeb to deal with. There is a lot of static in his airwaves, and I don't know now if Jeb Bush himself as a candidate or his campaign are equipped to deal with the upcoming days and weeks to stabilize his problems and to move forward. I'm not saying he's dead, and I want everyone to be clear. I do believe there's time. But there's limited time, and when we talk about time, we often think about kind of a destination, like there's time for us to drive in 2 hours to Naples. Well, that's true if we're going west from southeast Florida. But if you go north to Melbourne to get to Naples, you're not going to get there on time. You've got to be in the right direction.
Right.
And the campaign of Jeb Bush really hasn't shown lately that it fully appreciates the predicament it's in and the direction it needs to go.
Could not agree more. In fact, Jeb will be on with Chuck Todd, Meet the Press on Sunday. I was having a fight, Mark. I worked very closely. I was on his show for 9 years and 6 years every single morning with Don Imus. And I was having a fight with Imus, an email fight, about 6 months ago. And I said, Don, I think the thing that really angers you is that you've come to the crashing realization that the student, that's me, has surpassed the teacher. That's you. And he got really pissed, just so you know. And when I was watching Marco Rubio and Jeb Bush last night, and watching Marco Rubio basically go proctologist on Jeb Bush, it brought me back to that memory. But here it is. The student is kicking the teacher's ass.
Yeah, and really you mentioned the Politico Florida playbook. What I said today was an example of the Rubio rope-a-dope or Rubio jitsu. What he did is leading up to the debate is Jeb's campaign was convinced that they could get serious mileage or some mileage out of attacking Marco Rubio over his missed votes in the Senate. And the reality is historically, relative to this period of the campaign, John Kerry had more missed votes than Marco Rubio, and John McCain did. And Rubio, though, never mentioned that. And when this attack would come, he would kind of fend it off and parry it off and just say, look, I understand people say those things in the heat of a campaign. But Rubio had a one-liner, a haymaker in his pocket of ready to go, and he basically drew Jeb in. Jeb came swinging kind of wildly at Marco, actually probably clipped him on the jaw, and Marco rope-a-doped and just clocked him with this line that said, look, Jeb, you supported John McCain in 2008. He missed far more votes than I did, and you didn't say anything about it then. And now you're saying this, and the reason is that everyone knows it's because you're running against me and because someone told you to say that.
Right.
And the only thing that would have probably made it more devastating is if he would have said, and because you're losing. But he didn't go that far. He kind of didn't need to. And when Jeb tried to respond, the applause drowned him out.
Right.
And optics matter, and the sound matters. And when the crowd cheers you after you score a blow, it makes the shot sound even harder.
I will admit, the first time I heard you on the air was with my my buddy. She's mad at me for a couple of weeks. Actually, she's very mad at me. We stopped talking, but I still listen to her show and still appreciate her every day. And that's Joyce Kaufman. Heard you on with her, and I know you guys are tight. And you're on our show all the time. She despises Marco Rubio. I mean, she can't say enough negative things about Marco Rubio every single day. Covering him, he's been on her show, live in studio, flip-flopped on immigration, worked in government his whole life. More things up there, never shows up, never votes. She can't stand him, and she's a big political voice down here in South Florida. Is she missing something, or is she onto something?
Well, everyone's got his or her opinion about whom they like. I wouldn't presume to tell someone whether to like rap or country.
Right,
so.
okay. Right. That's funny. I do, actually. I say I like country more. Okay, but forget
I'm
about
a rap person. Just
okay,
so you know.
there you go. But not whether you like somebody or not, but some of the things that she talks about are true. We know that. But does that mean that Marco Rubio cannot be a good president? There's probably a better question.
Does what? The fact that he's had missed votes?
The fact that he's flip-flopped, he's had missed votes.
Well, the flip-flopping conversation is a long one for Rubio. What it is definitely clear about is that there's one certain flip-flop that Marco Rubio did on immigration.
Right.
And that's when he ran for office in 2010. He essentially described any sort of pathway to citizenship as amnesty.
Correct.
Now, in 2013, when he joined the Gang of Eight, there was a pathway to citizenship in that bill. Now, it wasn't an amnesty as in like, hey, we completely forgive you. People had to meet a variety of conditions. They had to be crime-free. They had to pay back taxes. They had to wait, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But nevertheless, by Rubio's definition of 2010, and then what Rubio presented in 2013, fine, flip-flop, reversal. But other stuff, you have to understand that one of the things about Rubio, and probably one of the things that Joyce Kaufman might not like about him, is that he's able to communicate in a very effective way without saying very specific things, so it's hard to pin him down on later and actually say he flip-flopped. And so he's always leaving outs and exit ramps, trap doors, off-roads, if-then clauses. So in the case of immigration, people have made a big deal over him flip-flopping from his own bill in the past, and he by and large hasn't. That is, he did reverse some positions. He did soften some positions. He did, and here's the dreaded word you're going to hear, compromise,
right,
to actually get a bill passed. And it didn't work. But since then, he's certainly backed off of his bill by saying, look, it's not going to work. It's not going to be able to pass. It's moot talking about it. But he has said that he would favor some sort of pathway to citizenship along some sort of elongated timeline. So it's not a complete flip-flop-flip. It's a long explanation, but, it's immigration. It's kind of complicated.
Right. Hey, Mark, tell me about Jeb for a second again. Back to Jeb Bush. I know when Scott Walker finally begged out of the race, it's because I know for a fact his big money guys, one guy on Wall Street, for example, they were done with him. His donors were just, they were going someplace else. I think Jeb is going to start experiencing that in a big, big way now. This is now 3 debates in. He was okay in the second debate, did nothing in the first debate, and got his ass kicked last night. Is he at the risk right now of losing donors by the second this morning?
Yeah, I think he's in danger of losing donors. The speed and the size of which I don't know. But remember, there's 2 parts of a modern-day campaign. There's your super PAC, which has to be independent from you once you are an announced candidate. You can raise money for it, though. And it's by and large just an advertising vehicle. It can raise unlimited, what they call soft money. That is money from corporations that can be unlimited.
Right.
And that could go to the super PAC. But your campaign, which again has to be separate from the super PAC, has to raise what's called hard money. And that's money given from individuals, not corporations, and it's capped at $2,700. So it's much harder to raise hard money, which is why we call it hard money. And you need that money in order to have your campaign go. You want to have a campaign manager? Got to pay him with hard money. You want to have a communications person? Got to pay him with hard money. So Bush's real problem is going to be on the hard money side. These are going to be your donors who are thinking, geez, I don't know about this. Now, you can just have a few millionaires or billionaires fund your super PAC for your ads, but the nuts and bolts and the blocking and tackling of running a campaign is done through the campaign and through your hard money account. And it's those donors who, if they start fleeing Bush, is going to send or are going to send Bush into a tailspin, a negative, or better said, a positive feedback loop, or what we would call a vicious circle, where you don't have enough money to pay the staff to do the things you want to do, and therefore if you can't do the things you want to do, you can't get more money, and it becomes self-fulfilling, and then suddenly your campaign is in a death spiral. It's not there yet, but he's damn close.
Mark Caputo, Florida playbook, and obviously knows those 2 candidates very well, Jeb Bush and Marco Rubio. I do want to ask you, though, the larger picture had, of course, Trump and Carson as a top 2 heading into last night. Not in that order, actually. It was Carson, then Trump. I thought both of those guys were relatively lackluster. Folks saying this morning that was Donald Trump's plan. He would, believe it or not, against his characteristics, he was going to kind of stand back and let everybody else beat the hell out of each other. He only spoke for 5 minutes and 18 seconds last night. Say what you want about it. I thought in the end, neither Trump and or Carson helped themselves last night. What did you think?
Yeah, I agree, but the question is, did they hurt themselves? I don't think so. Most of us are talking about Jeb and Marco, and then as a secondary source of discussion, we're talking about how crappy the CNBC debate
they were terrible.
moderation was.
And also, by the way, you may want to throw in, because Rubio was impressive last night, but even two other guys I think that deserve mention here with Ted Cruz and Chris Christie. What about you?
I think Ted Cruz won the first half of the debate and might have therefore actually won the debate, only because most people tune in for the first half, so you have to kind of, grade on the scale. He had really strong moments. I don't think they were particularly honest when he kind of exaggerated how the media was being so mean to him and so wonderful to Hillary Clinton. But let's put that aside. Just on the performance metrics, Ted Cruz is a candidate with a campaign that is built to last. He's going to be the Terminator. He's going to be hard to kill. I've heard some very smart people say if it's not going to be Ted Cruz, it's going to be Ted Cruz and the nominee. And the question is, who's the nominee? And no one can quite figure it out. But after last night's debate, most of the people I talked to, now they are establishment Republicans, consultants, and professionals, they believe now it's increasingly likely to be Marco. But it's a volatile election season, and heck, the first absentee ballots haven't even gone out in the mail. The voting starts next year.
But you say, it's funny because you say you don't think that Trump and Carson helped themselves or hurt themselves, but I disagree. Now, you're a lot smarter than I am in that because Marco won, I thought, easily last night, and I think a lot of us thought Marco would be there at the end anyway, but now I think we're all convinced because of that. So if that's the case, and Rubio really, really cemented a stay in this, doesn't that hurt Trump and Carson just a little?
It could. I try to look at this from multiple angles, and when you look at the social media metrics, like people were talking about Trump like crazy, even though he's barely saying anything. And then a lot of people thought that Carson just did awesome. I think whereas I think people are attracted to Trump as this teller of truths that they perceive, and they like his swagger. The attraction to Ben Carson almost seems to be that he has more of a brand X quality. And as long as you're not a politician and you have a brain, hell, you're a brain surgeon, you're good enough for me. But I do agree that long term, this is, especially for Carson, this is not a winning strategy. But so far, it's difficult to knock anything Trump and Carson have done because they're 1 and 2 in the early states and in the national polls.
Yeah. 1 minute to go, Mark. Please stay on hold there because I really wanted to get something done here with you on a weekly basis. Talking about the state of Florida, which you write about every day, Florida Playbook in Politico. The Corey Jones case went down, and Corey, of course, killed by a cop here in Palm Beach, and the rally was only about 3 miles away from my studios. And, we had some guys on talking about the possibility this could be Ferguson, this could be Baltimore, all these things. And as it turned out, it did not go that way. I think the state of Florida should be pretty proud of themselves that this Corey Jones thing went down. It was what happened to him was tragic, unfair. His family has been very outspoken. But I think as a state, handled this thing pretty well, yes?
I guess. It's just a tragedy that so many young people, especially African Americans, wind up getting killed by police officers. In the end, we're going to need more eyes in the skies. We're going to need to have police officers wearing body cameras with dash cameras so that we just have another look at this, because we very often find that what police tell us and what the video evidence tell us are two separate things.
Well, you say very often. I mean, look, I'm not going to...
That's a good point. Often, I should say.
Right, because a guy like Quentin Tarantino, to me, that guy is about as lousy and American. I love his movies, all of them. Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, all right. They're all great. Django Unchained. But to me, that guy, I will never go see another movie of his again because the way he demonizes police. I think we got to be careful about, there are some, this guy's a bad guy.
I'll certainly cop to that. And I do believe, no pun intended to copping to it, I do believe that the proportion of bad police officers to good police officers is very small. That is, the overwhelming majority of police officers get in the business, they do their job. It's a terrible job because you meet often terrible people at the worst moments in their lives. But nevertheless, I think even for the police officers who are bad, it's good to have that camera on them just so they know that there's that extra voice in the back of their head like, hey, let me not proceed down this road. And I think it's just better for all of us. But yes, I don't want to demonize police officers. I'm very happy we have a police force here, and I would like to keep it. But I would like fewer people shot.
That's fair. Very fair. Hey, that's a kick-ass job again, Mark. And really, excellent piece. Florida Playbook and Politico is great. I urge all of you out there to go out and subscribe today. And please keep coming back, Mark. That's terrific. Thank you.
Yeah, do you want to put me on hold for your guys so we can talk about it? Okay.
All right, there he is. Mark Caputo, Florida Playbook. We'll take a short break, come back, and wrap things up right after this.
Welcome back to the Sid Rosenberg Show.
I was just remembering the last time I seen you on TV. It was on a Johnny Carson show. Oh, yeah. He was on with that there Raquel Walsh. Remember, Edith?
Oh, yeah, I remember. Oh, you were so sweet to her, Mr. Davis.
Oh, thank you.
She said he never thought he'd see the day when coloreds and whites would be hugging and kissing coast to coast.
When I ask you a question, why can't you just say yeah and stop? Now, no prejudice intended, but, you know, I always check with the Bible on these here things. Oh. Yeah, I think that, I mean, if God had meant us to be together, he'd have put us together. Well, look what he's done. He put you over in Africa. He put the rest of us in all the white countries.
Well, you must have told him where we were, because somebody came and got it.
Now, listen, you're a guy been around a lot. You've seen a lot of people, you know a lot, see? Yeah. Now, you look at me. You figure me for prejudiced kind?
Oh, Archie, you don't tell me you're really paying attention to those young kids. What do they know? I mean, you prejudice. Look, if you were prejudiced, Archie, when I came into your house, you would have called me a coon or a nit. But you didn't say that. I heard you clear as a bell. Right straight out, you said, colored.
Yeah, that's what I done, all right.
It's Sid Rosenberg on 640 Sports.
Summer loving had me a blast. Summer loving happened so fast. I met a girl crazy for me. Met a boy cute as can be. Summer days drifting away to other summer nights. Tell me more, did you get very far? Tell me more, like does he have a car?
She got a crank. John Boehner saying goodbye. A very emotional farewell speech.
He's crying again.
He's crying again, yeah. How's voting on Paul Ryan as the speaker today, which, of course, he's going to get. So Paul Ryan will replace John Boehner. How good was that? So how good was that movie? God, that was good. Wasn't that good? Grease. Danny Zuko and Sandra Dee. That summer on the shore. Like you had with that Chicken Island in that time. What was her name again?
Oh, yeah.
Allison, what was her name?
Yeah.
Rolling up on the shores of Kerry Island.
Good times.
Good times.
Great times, actually. Great times.
Fantastic.
I rented a car. Did I tell you about that?
No, that was this highlight. It was a holiday trip, wasn't it?
Well, that specific year, yes.
You know what's funny about you playing that song there, and we're going to end the show in about 5 minutes. 844-640-6464 is when I'm asked about my favorite movies of all time. I always have a tough time answering that because I like so many different types and genres, and I loved. Well, for example, I loved all the mob movies, Goodfellas and Godfather, but then again, I love the tearjerkers. I love that. I love them all, and I love Forrest Gump, and I loved Mr. Mom. Mr. Mom's a great movie. Would you agree, Mr. Mom, right there with Citizen Kane? And I love Night Shift, and I love About Last Night, and
yeah, I wouldn't put any of those in Citizen Kane.
But sure, absolutely.
But
what's the other one that's about the outlaw because of the Confederate flag? Gone with the Wind. There you go. But two movies that I particularly love were Travolta. All of his movies I love till he started doing lousy movies. But I even liked Urban Cowboy with Deborah Winger. But I loved Grease and Saturday Night Fever. And Grease I really loved.
Grease, right. Well,
how come we never include Grease?
I don't know.
Jaws and Rocky and
Rambo. Those are his three.
Rambo. Get out of here, Rambo.
Oh, Rambo First Blood, great.
It was good. No, I liked it. I liked the second one, too.
Wait, I saw it during the World Series game last night. I saw an ad for the new Rocky movie.
I saw that,
I'm
too.
like, come on. Yes. Your father.
Creed.
And they show a picture of him, and I'm like,
he looks horrible,
Yeah,
Sylvester Stallone.
oh, my God. I know. He's got to stop.
Terrible.
He's got to stop.
The movie doesn't look bad, though, to be honest.
Yeah, might be okay, yeah.
You're going to see it opening night, right?
Oh, he's going to be out there yelling.
I'm such a
loved
Stallone
your
guy,
father. It's like Apollo Creed. He's still alive, Carl Weathers. I loved your father. Rocky. But I don't know. I think Grease.
Grease was great, yeah. Well, I mean, at that time, Travolta was on fire. I mean,
on
Welcome
fire.
back, Cotter. Then he was singing. He had
Well,
songs
no,
on
Cotter
the
was
radio.
before that.
Cotter, right, but
Then
that's what I'm saying. They were
It was
building
Saturday
up.
Night Fever.
Then he blew up.
You know, he actually did a soft porn with Sly Stallone and a few others called The Lords of Flatbush.
That wasn't a soft porn. What do you mean soft porn? It was a great movie. I saw that. Henry Winkler.
That's right. Henry Winkler was in that. Fonzie. But he did Saturday Night Fever, and then he did Grease. And he did sing one song in that movie, solo. But he did the song... Sandy, right. But he did the song with Olivia Newton-John when he went to the Shake Shack there. What was that called?
That was You're the One That I
You're
Want.
the One That I Want. And he sang with everybody else, and we go together like Ramalama, whatever the hell that is. Sandy was a great song, though. Stranded at the drive-in, branded a fool.
But he had a song, actually. He tried to be a
No, he
singer.
didn't.
Yeah.
No, that was Patrick Swayze.
No, he had Razmanaz. Was
he
his
had
song.
what?
He had a song.
See, I remember Patrick Swayze had She's Like the Wind.
Right.
She's Like the Wind. Why am I singing all these songs? what?
Razmanaz was a song by John Travolta.
That's not true.
I'll get it right now.
No, I want you to sing it. I don't want to hear him do it.
Razmanaz, All Night Jazz, This Crazy Living Has Got Me Down.
Sing it. Let me hear it. How did it go?
Razmanaz, All Night Jazz, This Crazy Late Night Living is Bringing Me Down.
Anybody ever hear this?
I have not.
And I love JT.
And he clearly knows it well.
He was trying to become a legitimate recording star.
With a song like that.
Well, at the time, I mean, this was like 75 or something.
If you can find that, I promise you, Brian will give you a hand job before you go to New Orleans today. That's how much I want to hear that. Razmataz? Razmanaz. Right. Grease has got to be top 10, though. Probably before your time, right?
I got to refresh. I've seen it, but I got to refresh and watch it again.
Refresh it. What year were you born again?
83.
83. Yeah, that was in the 70s. Both SNF and Grease were prior to 1980, circa 1980. So you couldn't appreciate those. You're like for you, what's a great movie since you were born?
Ooh, what's a great movie?
What about the movie with Russell Crowe when he's fighting in Rome with the
Gladiator?
Gladiator.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great
Shawshank
movie.
Redemption. It's a great movie.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Forrest Gump.
Great movie. Those are the movies of your that's your generation.
Yeah, like when I'm like.
What about Ratatouille?
Yeah, the cartoon mouse movie. Yeah, that's
you
all
like
right.
those? Yeah,
It's
the
all right.
cartoon ones.
Yeah, Ratatouille.
Lion King was when you were like that.
Yes, that was huge. Titanic.
Yeah.
Yes, now you're going back. Yes. Titanic.
Did you cry when Jack Dawson died?
No, I was actually glad it was over. It's very, very long, too long.
So you were glad he died. You just.
Well, no, I wasn't glad he died, but yeah, I guess so.
My kids are. They get very upset when they die at the end of the movie. When he dies, I should say.
It is sad.
Yeah.
The music's good.
But you couldn't wait for the movie to end, so you were happy. He's like, oh, he's dead. Thank God I get to go home now.
No, it was long. Lion King, though. Elton John with some great Circle of Life. What a song.
Oh, my God. The Circle of Life.
I found the song.
Let me hear this.
And this is I guess from 75 about.
John Travolta. Say it again.
Razmanaz.
Razmanaz. Let's hear this.
Oh my! Look at the picture. Wow, it's got like a whoa.
This was a jam.
It's got a good beat, bro.
Drinking brandy at a bar
Oh my God.
with an old-time movie star.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Her makeup is faded and her fame is dated. She says her place ain't very far.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Razzmatazz.
Ah, yeah.
Night jazz. This crazy early living is weighing me down. I wake up in
Yeah,
the
this is why there's only one song.
Now, his hairstyle reminds me of your hairstyle in that Gastineau picture. Were you trying to imitate him?
A little bit
Yeah.
like that.
Long,
yeah.
long feathered
It was
hair.
called the
was
DA,
cool, yeah.
duck's ass, is what they called it back in
was
Brooklyn.
long feathered hair, yeah. Long
All right,
hair is in, man.
run Sinatra. We're getting out of here. We got the big Shane's Rib Shack lunch coming up in a couple of hours, so we hope to see as little of you there as possible.
What is it?
You know, you made fun of my promo earlier.
I've never heard one like that.
How many years have you been in radio?
About 15 years, 16
You've never
years.
heard a promo, and why is that? Why was my promo different?
I've never heard anyone say that they didn't want to see anybody, they didn't want to talk to anybody. Never heard a promo where they was trying to dissuade people from coming. I don't even.
You never heard that?
Never quite heard one like that.
Right. Well, there is something to being unique, right? I mean, you don't want to.
Well, yes, that is unique.
You're like everybody else.
What's the salesman's name?
Tony.
Tony.
I've never.
He's hanging from a noose in his office right now. He just jumped off the desk. Oh my God.
Oh, that's funny.
But
well, I gotta say it. I gotta say it the way it is. I can't come on here and lie to you folks. I'm not Donald Trump. I tell you the way I feel. Saving Private Ryan, great movie. What was that?
He's showing a picture of me with Gastineau in 8th grade.
You look like each other a little bit there. You look like, like
I told everyone he was my uncle.
Like your love child, his love child. Yeah. All right, that'll do it. Great show today. Thank our guests, Stevie. Who was on today, quickly?
Nice and early, we had Stu Feiner.
Right.
Tamara Holder, Fox News.
Very good.
Chuck Todd.
Excellent.
Meet the Press. Charlie Casserly, NFL Network.
Awesome.
Sean Thornton, Florida Panthers.
Great.
And we finished off with Mark. Now, am I pronouncing this correctly?
Caputo.
Mark Caputo.
Right.
Politico.
Right. And all you guys did great today. Ricky Belupe and Garrett Phillips. Brian, you'll be running the board tomorrow while Lenkel goes on vacation. And Eric, we'll miss you the next 5 days, but we're used to this already. Hopefully you come back on Tuesday, but who knows?
I'll be back on Wednesday.
Okay, great. Even better. C-Mac, we love you. So
I'll miss everybody, yes.
Sure you will. To all of you that listen and participate each and every day, we mean this from the bottom of our hearts. Have yourselves a blessed Thursday. We'll see you at lunch in a couple of hours. Until then, peace.
I don't know about you, but I would love to listen to Z-Mac and Lingo all day and all morning.
The weather's great. You smoke a lot of weed. There are servicemen there.
What up? What up? Shout out to weed.
What's the matter? Toilet don't work? Put it in the box.
And Miguel, he needs to grow a pair.
I'm going to tell Al Roker to say,
Okay.
Hey, Al, say hi to Sid Rosenberg.
Sid Rosenberg. Sid, on behalf of a grateful nation, thank you, Sid, not for what you do, but for what you appear to do, and I mean that sincerely.
She's unique. That's for darn sure.
No, she's
unique.
And she's cute, too. I mean, how to bring you back to the days when you and Burt Reynolds were pulling 2-on-1s back at Florida State, yes?
Not so fast, my friend. No, let's don't go there. Let's don't go there.
What was the movie up in Boston where everybody was in it? Nicholson, Damon, Wahlberg, Alec Baldwin.
In Boston?
Yeah, the Boston mob.
Gangs of New York?
Eric Langdell really sounds stupid.
I don't like anyone.
Boomer's a dickhead.
I think Troy was a queer.
John David Booty shot Abe Lincoln.
Hi, Uncle Z-Mac.
Who has a better beard than me, bro? No one. I'm winded, man.
Jim Rome doesn't hold my left testicle.
Hey, Big Earl. Welcome to Miami, man.
The last comedy to win an Academy Award was what?
Philadelphia.
These people are dicks.
Hey, Sid.
Yeah.
Miguel sounds unusually stupid today. Knows nothing of nothing. Nothing. Nothing, Sid.
I mean, do you have any idea who played Wet Butler in all seriousness?
Humphrey Bogart?
Eric and West Palm, what's going on?
Rick Stevens, you son of a bitch, F the president.
What?